Hi, today we are starting in MAT 143 with section 1, section 1.E actually. Let's get a slightly better color going on here. One purpose of math and many others in general ed is to teach students critical thinking. Little psychedelic. We'll go without the psychedelic. How about it? We'll go back to this. Okay, so critical thinking. We need to teach you critical thinking because we need to make sure that you have all the skills that you need for life. Critical thinking is very important in life. A lot of critical thinking you're already doing in life, but mainly in this class, you need to make sure you read carefully. Normally it says listen carefully, and if it was a face-to-face class, I'd say listen would be primary. But in this class, because it is an online class, probably an online class, it is actually reading because you do a lot more reading since it's an online class. You will have to read, and even if it were a face-to-face class, you get tested on everything, and so you will be reading, oh my gosh, reading, oh my gosh, reading. You've got to make sure you read everything super specifically careful. Super duper careful. So you're going to think this is a bit of an exaggeration, but we have to be very careful in how we do our videos and that we don't spend too much time in each little video, spending a lot of time. They want to make sure we have shorter videos now and not longer videos. So section 1E could be spent, like the last video I did for section 1E lasted over an hour. I'm going to try to shorten it down so that all the little videos for section 1E don't last an hour. So we're going to do as many of these as I possibly can in as little time. So talking about the example, it says the following is the actual wording of the ballot question referencing this referendum posed in Nebraska. So basically, they were actually given this referendum. It was actually put on the ballot. They saw this. The purpose of Legislative Bill 268, passed by the first session of the 104th Nebraska Legislature in 2015, is to eliminate the death penalty and change the maximum penalty for the crime of murder in the first degree to life imprisonment. Shall the Legislative Bill 268 be repealed? They want to know, should it be repealed? And the question is there a problem with the statement above? And what do you find problematic about it yourself, if anything? Well, regardless of whether you find it problematic or not, it happened in 2015. It's over and done with. It happened. Yes, there is a problem with it. Can you find the problem? Go ahead, pause it. Let's see how long it takes you to find the problem. Is there a problem with it? So here's the deal. They wanted to eliminate the death penalty way back in 2015. They did. The purpose of it, and it was passed back then, was to eliminate the death penalty, which means you couldn't use the death penalty because it was eliminated, which means everybody lived. That's what eliminating the death penalty means. Everybody lives. So now they want the maximum penalty for the crime of murder in the first degree to be life imprisonment. That's what happened back then. Now they want to repeal that. If you repeal life imprisonment, what do you have? You have a death penalty. So now when you go back, you are going to have a death penalty. The problem is they use the word repealed. Everybody knows when you use the word repeal, You're talking about repealing a death penalty. It is common linguistic knowledge that the word repeal is used with the death penalty. It was bad form to use the word repeal when you're talking about putting the death penalty back. You shouldn't use that word. It was bad form. They should have never, ever used that word. Bad form. Bad form. Hint number 2. Look for the hidden assumptions. It says we should build more prisons because incarcerating more criminals will reduce the crime rate. Does that mean that that's true? Will incarcerating more criminals reduce the crime rate? Yes or no? No. Incarcerating more criminals does not reduce the crime rate. Building more prisons does not mean that you incarcerate more criminals, by the way. All it does is mean that you have more prisons. Doesn't mean that you incarcerate more of anything. It means you have more prisons. But assuming you incarcerate more criminals, it also doesn't mean that you reduce the crime rate. They are not causally linked. Identify the real issue. With last Saturday's sellout crowd at the Moonlight Amphitheater, it's clear that the parking problem has gotten worse. Concert goers parked along residential streets up to a mile away from the amphitheater, badly overcrowding sidewalks, blocking driveways, and disrupting traffic. In light of this parking problem, future concerts should be banned. Is banning future concerts going to alleviate the overcrowding sidewalks, the blocked driveways, and the disrupted traffic? That it will. It will do that. Is that the correct thing to do? Who does that really punish? Who does banning the concerts punish? Does it punish the concert goers, or does it punish the owners of the concert venue? Does it punish the concert goers who weren't doing the bad behaviors? Does it punish the performers who can no longer perform because their concerts had to get canceled because they were banned? Do you ban all performers? Are you going to ban Yo-Yo Ma? Or are you just going to ban 50 Cent and Taylor Swift? Where do you draw the line? So, is there a different solution that you can come up with besides this? If you have a better solution, this is what you should do. This is your first way of earning extra credit. If you have a different solution, then you should not email me. You should send it to the class. There's a way in Canvas to send it to everybody. You go, you send the announcement to everyone, and then once you've done that, you write down that it is hint number 3, because that's what it is, hint 3, identify the real issue, and you put down your solution. Make sure you put your name in it, and you put down your solution. and you will receive extra credit for your solution. If someone else can come up with a different solution, then they can send it to the class. That's the way it goes. So for solutions that are different, they have to be different. They can't be the same. You send it, hint number 3, my solution. Make sure you put your name. It has to be different. And then the people underneath of it will decide whether or not they like your solution. If they like your solution, they can go down and comment whether or not they like it. And we'll find out who likes whose solution. Why they like it, why they don't. If they think it should be improved upon, if they don't. If they think it can be improved upon, then maybe they should go make that improvement and make it their solution. They could get their extra credit that way. Just saying. There's extra credit in it. Not a lot of extra credit, but every little bit counts. You know, extra credit, first test. Everybody needs a little bit. Anyway, first video down. Woohoo! Okay.